This is the Comedy Show. The Comedy Show with Comrade Nnamdi Kanu, live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Comedy Show. The Comedy Show with Comrade Nnamdi Kanu, live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Comedy Show. The Comedy Show with Comrade Nnamdi Kanu, live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Comedy Show. The Comedy Show with Comrade Nnamdi Kanu, live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know.
Okay, yes. Hello, fellow Nigerians. A very good evening to you, wherever you are. This is the Comedy Show, and my name is Comrade Nnamdi Kanu. There's been a breaking news, and of course, a lot of us, a lot of people have, we've seen, the news, we've heard it, we've seen images of Chief Nnamdi Kanu, who has been arrested by the Nigerian government. And of course, as a matter of fact, he's been arraigned at the Federal High Court of Nigeria. As I speak with you, the information on how he was actually arrested, okay, at the moment as we speak, is still very sketchy. A lot has not been revealed, okay? But we are very sure, we can confirm that Nnamdi Kanu was not arrested in Nigeria, and there is been no report that an extradition hearing, was held anywhere, across this world, and all of that. I've been trying to follow this matter very closely. There's been the allegation some quarters that he was arrested in the UK by aided, by Interpol and all of that. But there's equally the doubt that nothing like that can happen in the UK without some form of extradition hearing, as it were, which was not done. For information, he was arrested according to the report given by the Chief Justice of Nigerian Federation. That's talking of Justice Malami. He was arrested on Sunday, the 27th of June. Nnamdi Kanu, as reported, was arrested on the 27th of June, which was on Sunday. Okay, what this means, and every other thing, we're going to try to talk about them and try to put some things together, because for some of us, we probably saw this coming, and I'm going to try to explain how and why. But in the meantime, let us take a listen to just an excerpt of, the press statement by Malami. If you are there, please share the broadcast. Let's get some numbers together. This is serious breaking news. The entire IPOB community, as I speak with you, I have monitored them across the globe. Okay, they are broken, seriously broken. Okay, but what happens after now? We don't know. We can't tell, because the allegations leveled against Nnamdi Kanu, for which is being tried for, okay, they are very powerful. They are very strong, as it were. But let us take a listen to Malami. They will come back and we're going to try to do some analysis of this matter.
Nigeria, in order to continue facing trial after disappearing while on bail regarding a living count charge against him. Recent steps taken by the federal government so to the intersection of the fugitive Kanu on Sunday the 27th day of June 2021. Nnamdi Kanu was born on the 25th September 1967 at Afrauku, Abia State, Nigeria, and indeed a holder of Nigerian passport number AO 8051368827, first issued on the 17th October 2013 at Festa. Often John been accused of engaging in subversive activities that include inciting violence through television, radio, and online broadcast against the Nigerian state and institutions. Kanu was also accused of instigating violence, especially in southeastern Nigeria, that resulted in the loss of lives and property of civilians, military, paramilitary, police force, and destruction of civil institutions and symbols of civil authorities. The acclaimed leader of the proscribed secessionist indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has, for your information, been intercepted through the collaborative efforts of the Nigerian intelligence and security services.
Okay, he's been, according to him, intercepted through a collaborative effort between, Nigerian intelligence and security, operatives and services, as it were. Now, one thing we know, one thing we can attest to, or probably we can nearly attest to, is that Nnamdi Kanu was not arrested in Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu was not reported to be in Nigeria, as it were. I have tried to listen in on, a broadcast, by one of the Nnamdi Kanu's radio, network and all of that, for which a lot of people, IPOB people were calling, IPOB members were calling in and all of that. And a lot of accusation is being pointed at the British government, that it was Britain that, according to them, okay, as alleged, that it was Britain that collaborated with the Nigerian government to get this done and all of that. But why that is doubtful, the reason why that is very doubtful is because we do not yet know the UK, okay, this is officially, I may be very wrong about this, to extradite, anybody without some form of hearing, which, if it happens like that, the world must get to know. But if Britain is actually involved in this, okay, international law, has been broken, okay? What we can observe is that the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu must have been through some sort of kangaroo arrangement. Maybe Nnamdi Kanu was in one of these banana republics where they don't bother about these international, processes and all of that. So they just, Umaru decode him, as it were, because this is exactly what was to happen to Umaru Diko, long time ago and all of that. Packaged him like a baggage and transport him to Nigeria illegally, as it were. But, all of that, I am sure that as time goes on, we are going to get more information about all of that. Now, I did say earlier that some of us saw something like this coming and all of that. If you follow the Comrade Show very closely, I have often said that this is one country where so much magic happened, okay? Since the interview granted to Arise Television by the President of Nigeria, General Muhammadu Buhari, okay, we began, many of us saw, the air of confidence, even before that interview, okay, the air of confidence, this president who shows weakness in every other thing as far as Nigeria is concerned, but shows strength in whatever has to do with Biafra, okay, the air of confidence, he showed, talking about how he wants to deal with, these people who are aligning with the separate, what they call them separatists, aligning with Biafra, and all that has been happening, okay, in Biafra land, okay, the level of insecurity, the number of people that the security operatives of Nigerian state, has actually arrested, some killed, and all of that. Remember, IPOB had been declared by the federal government of Nigeria as a terrorist organization. Meanwhile, this same Nigerian government, okay, has failed to call Boko Haram and what's his name, Fulani herdsmen terrorists. They have failed. The Fulani herdsmen and the Boko Haram terrorist organizations, they have killed thousands of Nigerians needlessly. As we speak, this same government cannot account for one person that has been persecuted by the Nigerian government. Anyhow, we are coming to, I'm trying to, draw this matter to a particular point. Okay? Now, we saw this coming because I am not putting any blame on anybody, but some of the things we started seeing in recent time, while the federal government of Nigeria, they were doing their own coup case to get Nnamdi Kanu arrested. That was a major plan. Apparently, what we saw was that there was some sort of coercion, an agreement between all security, apparatus of the Nigerian state, okay, to say Nnamdi Kanu is a target that must be arrested. Now, the reason why we are not surprised is that this government has a way of speaking through some private individuals, some people that you probably we don't connect directly with government. Remember, only a couple of weeks ago or days ago, some human being in the guise of 75 northern groups came together to say they are placing 100 million bounty on Kanu to facilitate his arrest. Anybody who can come with useful information to facilitate his arrest. Now, I spoke with somebody earlier and who told me, now, what I'm saying right now, I cannot independently verify this, but the person said that there was betrayal somewhere, that somebody lured Nnamdi Kanu somewhere where his arrest can actually be facilitated. Now, whether it was in connection with this bounty, we don't know. But before the northern groups came together, okay, to say they are placing 100 million naira bounty on Kanu's head, for any information that can lead to his arrest and, of course, his prosecution and all of that, we already had seen, okay, some sort of fractures, within the IPOB ranks. You understand? Only less than a month ago, or barely so, Asari Dokubo came out, and from what he said about Nnamdi Kanu, we began to see that, okay, something is not right somewhere. So a lot had actually been working against Nnamdi Kanu. But let us take a listen to an excerpt of Asari Dokubo's statement. You understand what I'm saying now? This is barely a month ago and all of that. These two men, they were united for the purpose of Biafra at some point. And somehow, we don't know what happened. Okay? But let us listen to Asari Dokubo.
Fellow Biafrans, you can hear the voices of criminals talking about countries. We asked of people who contributed money to them. They are now telling us India, Russia, this is what is audited account. This is what Biafra will be under the criminal Nnamdi Kanu. The criminal called Nnamdi Kanu. They claim that they sent money through Omyomyo. Now they brought money to Cotonou to give to me, 20 million naira. We're waiting for them to bring the evidence. They came to Cotonou to meet with me. I hosted them, I fed them, I accommodated them. They did not bring a dime. There are other people from other parts of the Niger Delta, not just the Jaw people, as the picture shows. They ate my food, slept in my accommodation I paid for, and left. They did not bring one kobo. I had paid several medical bills for IPOB members in different places that have been injured. I had risked my life, sent lawyers to detention centers to try to bring them. There are living witnesses who can testify to this. And this has been the fear of several people. You want to form a country with Igbos? It will be a criminal country. People say it. And when you talk, Igbo say, don't generalize. Where are you when Nnamdi Kanu and others speak for you? When these characters speak for you? When others want to talk, they come up, they abuse Boro, they abuse Clark, they abuse everybody in other places. And you are not courageous enough to confront them. When others want to talk, you say, no, these people do not represent Igbo. If they don't represent Igbos, then tell us who represent Igbo. Then speak up against them. First and foremost, I want to ask Nnamdi Kanu, did I contact you? Did I look for you? It was you who looked for me. The first person you sent to me was Kaniva Ode. He came to me. He asked me that there was a need for us to collaborate. There was a need for us to come together. I don't know who else he went to in Ijola, but he came to me. He met me at the government house by Elsa, and we have been communicating. And since this issue started, he has been so sad with the turn of events. One Ijo fellow in the prison, it was you who was talking to him, calling him to call me, give your number. How many months did it take me to talk to you?
Okay, this video is just an excerpt I want to play to build up, some of the, things we're talking about here. Why this video came out? Of course, it came out as a surprise because somehow at the time, the world felt that, there is the alignment, okay, between the, IPOB members and of course some segment of the job people, as led by Asari Dokubo. But when this video came out, there is this friction. But apart from that, there's been series of friction here and there, and all of that. And somehow a lot of people began to distrust the movement and Kanu himself and all of that. But, we were observing, we knew that somehow things are no longer holding up. Okay, and probably all of these things may have worked together. And just in the last 1 or 2 weeks, when the Northern youth organizations came together to say, man, they are placing a bounty. When I saw the news, I knew that I could tell that there was foul play somewhere. It may be very right that this Nnamdi Kanu's arrest is not unconnected with the bounty. Okay, they have used. In my own assessment, I think that the federal government have used this under the aegis of the Northern youth coming together to release this information. It is just like I'm very critical of what's his name, the man they call Sheikh Gumi, the Islamic cleric who hold meetings regularly with terrorists, okay, who sympathizes with terrorists. Who tells us that the Nigerian government should not be killing terrorists because they are victims too. And yet, nobody's able to arrest him. Only recently, he was invited by DSS. And he came out to let the world know that he's working for the federal government of Nigeria. And there has been no movement of his visit to these terrorist groups that the federal government of Nigeria is not aware of. Which means that we all sit together. We are dying in the hands of terrorists, and the federal government of Nigeria as a negotiator, unofficially appointed. And yet, these guys, people are walking scot-free. But Nnamdi Kanu was a target. Now, I am not here to justify many aspects of his IPOB movement. I have said this severally on this platform, that there are so many things within Nnamdi Kanu that I personally don't agree with. So many. But I'm not here to talk about those ones right now. Okay? But let us take a listen to the effrontery these human beings had to say they are placing 100 million bounty. Who are you? If not that, there is somebody at the top or some people at the top asking you to do this. So that let's just take a listen. Because all these are coming, they are working together.
We are placing a bounty of 100 million naira. We are placing a bounty of 100 million naira as an offer to anyone who can produce Nnamdi Kanu alive, hale and hearty. Please take note. Whoever can produce Nnamdi Kanu alive, hale and hearty, uninjured, to us for onward delivery to security agencies for his continuous prosecution. Every property.
Can we listen? Because whatever this man is talking about right now, because I try to read between the lines, okay, is exactly what is playing out right now. Even though the information coming out is still in some sketches, as it were, okay? Anybody who can deliver him to us, hale and hearty, uninjured, for our delivery to the federal government of Nigeria for further prosecution, 100 million. That is an attractive sum to anybody or group of persons who want to betray their own. I think while we are looking everywhere, okay, or trying to imagine this or imagine that, okay, the real proper IPOB structure, okay, we need to look at themselves inwardly. They need to look around themselves to know where did this crack come from. I mean, for those who have been, you know, in fact, all IPOB social media network today, they have been blasting the British government and all of that. I'm not making any excuse for British government, but what we know, which is a procedural, you know, arrangement for things like this to happen, if the British government is involved and somebody is being arrested, there is always an extradition hearing, which is not secret. It's not supposed to be. Except that if the government of Britain is involved, except that this must have been a kangaroo arrangement. Otherwise, like somebody called me to, I spoke with someone today, he told me that they are monitoring the situation, that an insider lured Kanu to a place where he can be apprehended. Don't forget that someone like Asari Dokubo had fallen out with Kanu and had declared Kanu wanted, with that several forces had come together to get Nnamdi Kanu arrested. Several forces. Now, the issue is this. We are still waiting for this whole matter to be very clear. Everything we are saying right now, they are all speculations because a lot has been building up to this. For some of us, the way some things have been managed on the level, by the level of the IPOB, you know, and you know, information dished out by the IPOB body itself, somehow, some people, even in recent time, began to like, man, what is happening here? What are we doing? You understand what I'm saying? And all of that. There is a movement which for many is sacrosanct. A movement that needs to be seen to the end. For many, they are faithful to the movement. Now, there are others who are the leaders of the movement. But let us take a listen to this footage. Personally, I was shocked at the information that came out from this footage. Just from a couple of days ago and all of that. And apart from this, some other information like this had been coming out from the runnings of the IPOB itself to make it look like, okay, what is happening here? Let's take a listen, because all of these things, they all, I believe they build up to the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu. Let's take a listen.
Recently, IPOB consulted a consultant firm in Washington with a weekly sum of $750,000 US. When you put it in naira or their useless naira, it's close to 400 million. When this happened, so many people were like confused or marveled. Why so much money? Why spending so much money on just consultant? But I have to thank you guys for such a money. It is so much. But ask also me, where does this money comes from? Those money comes from all this your investment. Those monies come from your monthly dues. Those money comes from your defense funds. Those money comes from all these 10 francs, 20 francs, 35 francs. Because the money is.
Now, I can tell you from what I know, because I speak with quite a number of persons. There have been those who are very faithful to the IPOB movement, but who are very disenchanted with the management of the resources of the IPOB movement. Now, could money have been a cause of betrayal if actually betrayal actually was part of this process? What would have been the issue here? Kanu wasn't in Nigeria. Kanu holds a British nationality. Kanu was always traveling between Britain, US, Israel, and other countries as such, and all of that. So it means that there were structures that were part of the protection of Kanu himself, okay, that caved in to give him away. This is what we can assume right now. We stand to be corrected. The Nigerian government right now is very sketchy with information, not willing to. And the only reason why, because even when Malami was talking, I was surprised that why would Malami, not let Nigerians know how he was arrested? Why just give a very ambiguous statement to say he was arrested by the collaboration of security this or security that? This man was not in Nigeria. If this man was arrested, and facilitated by Interpol and all of that, which Interpol? Which country was he arrested? How was he extradited to Nigeria? Did they follow all necessary protocols of extradition, as it were? Now, none of those information come out. I don't even know whether those information are going to come out, whether they're not going to leave us to speculate. Now, that brings us to another thing. For those who may not know, some time ago, previously when Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, at some point he was granted bail, and after the bail, he began his, as a matter of fact, he breached some aspects of the bail conditions. He began his, grouping of his people and all of that, the IPOB members, and consequently, the federal government of Nigeria declared Operation Patton Dance, which led to, the death of a lot of people, and of course, in the process, Nnamdi himself, escaped Nigeria, and of course, he's been operating from abroad, and having breached his, his bail conditions and all of that, on the 28th of March 2019, his, a bench warrant was given for his arrest, okay, and all of that. And so, having been arrested right now, it is a continuation of the case he has had. Now, what are the allegations against him? Now, they are not going to amend those things to, he's been accused of terrorism. He's been accused, of a treasonable felony. He's been accused of unlawful possession of firearms. He's been accused of managing an unlawful society, which is IPOB in this case, as prescribed by the Nigerian government. And of course, recently, I think they are saying they want to amend it to include inciting, people to violence, incitement that has led to the killing of civilians and security personnel, incitement and all of that, so they want to increase amend the its initial charge to carry all of this. He appeared in court today, the Federal High Court of Nigeria, under Justice Binta Iyanko, and the case had been adjourned till July 26, 2021. Now, having jumped bail previously, we don't expect that it's going to be granted bail again. You know, so it's going to be in the custody of the Nigerian, what's it called, Nigerian security operatives, as it were. That being said, it's important that we establish here. It's unfortunate the man has been arrested now by the zoo. He's right now in the hands of the zoo. It's unfortunate, that he's right now in the hands of the zoo. So these are some of the things. Now somebody called me earlier and asked me, the condition, these issues right now is faced with the charges. Okay, what are the possible outcome of this charge if found guilty? To be very honest, we are not going to put water. I called couple of lawyers. Well, I called a lawyer, not a couple of them, just a lawyer, to equally ask the same question. And the lawyer told me, look, if found guilty, it's capital punishment. And the Nigerian law allow for, capital punishment to even life imprisonment and death if that becomes a case and all of that. Now, under the law, according to what I was told, okay, the fact that they jump bail doesn't mean that he's guilty and all of that. Depends what the lawyers are going to argue now and all of that, and how they are going to make the argument, what made him jump bail and all of that. Of course, the other charges, okay, for which the federal government of Nigeria, have a lot of proof, is the charges of incitement to violence, incitement leading to the death of civilians and military. They are just saying this in the way they are. You understand what I'm saying? And of course, they have a lot of his tapes, some of which may even be facilitated by betrayers, those who probably came together to betray him. Now, this is one part of the matter. The other part of the matter that I want to talk about is this. IPOB was a very strong, well-structured organization, well-structured, highly financed, okay, to the extent that the figures you hear of how they expended money on this and on that and on that, somehow, this man just now, announced, so just some days ago, that they spent...
Well utilized. That is how recently IPOB consulted a consultant firm in Washington with a weekly sum of $750,000 US.
For consultancy, $750,000 US. That's a lot of money. Okay, and all of that. And the questions, some people who are very close to the heart, of course, I know a couple of them who talk to me, they themselves were like, man, what is happening here? And all of that. There's a struggle on the ground and all of that. But the man went ahead to explain, how, these consultants, open access, allow them reach where they ought to reach, where they may not be able to reach without the influence of this consultant and all of that. But $750,000, 400 million naira. So within the ranks of the IPOB, there have been those who have been a bit disenchanted. Not just that, so much monies here and there. You understand what I'm saying now? That people, members who are donating the money, those very close to the executive cadre, had been very unhappy with and all of that. So these are some things. So what we can say from our end is that the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu and of course his arraignment, in Nigeria, even though the Nigerian government is not coming up with the truth inside the matter, we know that a lot of betrayals probably, has taken place. And when this money of 100 million bounty was mentioned, definitely I suspected the rats. Your friends who are in the same circle with you, when a matter like this comes up, you now need to review your inner circle to know who and who can be faithful to the end. Even when Biafra war, was happening, okay, in the heart of the war, Ojukwu was still faced with betrayals from his inner circle. Talk less of, when we say war never even start and people are just, and all of that. And people have been asking questions, even with the IPOB matter itself, the running of the IPOB, all these monies from all over the world. People are paying their dues from Nigeria, America, Canada, everywhere, all over. You understand what I'm saying now? IPOB well-funded and all of that. Who are those persons close to the heart of the matter, who are happy with Kanu, who have the capacity to give him away, who have the capacity to connive with the Nigerian government, with these northern youths who say they are placing a bounty on him? Okay? And now what now happens to the resources of the IPOB now that this man has been arrested? What happens to the struggle? Okay? Under normal circumstances, for those who believe in a struggle like this, what you hear when a leader has been arrested like this is that another person is quickly announced, okay, to lead the mantle. Now there's a struggle. That's what I said earlier. There's a struggle. We must separate the struggle from, other aspects of it. The other aspects of it right now, are issues of bad blood that have been building over time. The likes of, what's it called, Asari Dokubo had fallen out with him. There are so many others too that we did not, we may not be able to capture right now, but there have been a number of other small ones that had, that he himself had actually sacked and all of that. So many bad blood had been building up. Now, the reason why the issue of the northern people, the northern group, for me, they were just speaking for the Nigerian government. Let's take a listen to this footage again.
Of any northerner that has been destroyed, we are saying that the government of those states, that those incidents happen, must pay our people. You must pay compensation. We will no longer tolerate the killing of our people. We will no longer tolerate the destruction of properties of our people anymore. If not, we have done it in the past, we will do it again. We don't want to do it. So we are passing a word of warning. They said a word is enough for the white.
Now, if you hear, the infantry, behind this human being talking, you will know that this man is not the one talking. You understand what I'm saying now? We have done it in the past, we'll do it again. Any state, our people, are killed or destroyed, the governors of those states will be held accountable. They must replace this and replace that. Now, his voice tells you that, of a truth, Nigeria is not existing. Well, everybody's declaring his people. Now, the amount of destruction carried out by your own people in the southern part of Nigeria, nobody has called on the federal government right now to start paying compensation. As we speak, there is fear of hunger right now in the south of Nigeria because people are now afraid to go to their farms because of the excesses of Fulani herdsmen. And yet, nobody in Nigeria has been convicted by the Nigerian state. Nobody is being arraigned as we speak now to say it's a member of Boko Haram, or it's a bandit, or it's a member of, a Fulani herdsman, or the terrorist organization. Nobody! As we speak, a chief in Ekiti state, 20 million naira had just recently been placed on his head. These are bandits sponsored from the northern part of Nigeria. So, whether you arrest Nnamdi Kanu, like I said, I must establish this. Personally, okay, there's a part of the struggle of the Nnamdi Kanu that definitely, I conform with as a person. There are other aspects of it that I do not agree with holistically. I've said that over and over again. You understand what I'm saying now? And I felt, I've always felt that the management of, the arrangement, as it were, the rhetorics from Nnamdi Kanu was not the type that instills the confidence. I even recently came out, to say You know, because that itself was an insult when the whole idea of saying, drawing a map to say Edo is Biafra, the Delta is Biafra, and all those things without, you know, due consultation with the people and all of that, just drawing a map to say this is where Biafra part. Those things were all not appropriate. You understand what I'm saying? And of course, the rhetoric from the guy was not the kind of rhetoric I agree with. You understand what I'm saying? And all of that. And I had equally made a broadcast to say, look, if the movement of Biafra must succeed, it must be through proper negotiations. There are structures in the land of Biafra that must be part of this process. Okay, there are structures. There is no way you will exclude those who run the political affairs of the eastern states. So there must be some synergy, some agreement. Now, even why I believe strongly that if we have a cohesive and a respectable Nigeria, it is better for all of us than to have a fragmented Nigeria. Even why I believe in that, I believe very strongly in the struggle of IPOB, the genuine part of it. Because believe me, if we go deep down, there's a part of it that is not genuine. There's a part of it that I believe very strongly is exploitative. There's a part of it that I believe very strongly, you know, is not actually carrying the true interest of the lower cadre people who believe strongly in Biafra. There are those part of it where people were just exploiting others in the name of this Biafra. I believe that. I stand to be corrected. You understand what I'm saying? And we may find out that part of it is why, you know, this man was easily arrested as this. You understand? I hope we get the full details. You understand? But until we get that, we have a right to speculate and dot some T's and cross. Dot some I's and cross some T's and all that. So there are those aspects that some of us, you understand what I'm saying, that did not agree with. You understand? And we may be to say that Edo is not Biafra. I equally can make both to say that, you know, Delta is not Biafra. You understand what I'm saying now? All of these struggles, why they are necessary to draw the Nigerian state to a point where we have a proper structure, you know, to of course, you know, get restructuring, force the Nigerian state to restructuring. You understand what I'm saying now? I think the struggle to that extent is good. To that extent, it's very good. It's the reason why I align that there should be this pressure that we move. But of course, it would be because, you know, the entire Nigerian state, particularly the federal government of Nigeria, disrespects the eastern bloc of the Nigerian state. And that is why the president of Nigeria, you know, in his arrest, you know, a television interview, would easily just say Biafra is a dot in a circle. Very insensitive, very nonsensical, very, very, very misguided. And of course, it was a statement laden with hate and nepotism, as it were. But having said that, we'll stay close to this matter. And by the grace of God, you know, whatever information we get directly and indirectly, because believe me, we are planting sources, we are talking to sources very close to the matter to know exactly what the situation is. And I'm sure that in the coming days, overtly or covertly, we'll start getting a clearer picture of what is happening here. So, but for the information of the general public, Nnamdi Kanu has been rearrested. How? We do not yet know. We are speculating still. But we can tell that he was not in Nigeria. He was not arrested in Nigeria. Okay. We can almost tell that. We may be wrong. Okay, but we can almost tell that. And if he was arrested outside of Nigeria, it therefore means that certain things had come together to facilitate that process. And we see betrayal in that process because there was nowhere we heard that he was arrested and he was going to be extradited to Nigeria. There was nowhere we heard that. And so therefore, maybe this man was just Umarudikoed to Nigeria. But let's see. We follow. And of course, whatever happens, we equally want to know what happens to IPOB, to the Biafra movement going forward. Are they announcing a new leader? Are they announcing a new direction? Are they with the money they have? Are they deploying enough resources to hire the best lawyers to represent Nnamdi Kanu. What is the plan of IPOB? What do you call it here that? When we hear, we'll be here to talk about it. This is the Comrade Show. We are on Facebook and on YouTube. Follow us on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook. Be sure we're on top of this situation. We're going to be on top of it. My name is Comrade Nnamdi Kanu. That is the news. I'll see you again as soon as we get some other information. Bye for now.
The Comrade Show. The Comrade Show. Wait. Comrade Nnamdi Kanu. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us. Follow us. And be the first to know. This is